Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bedomy and this is Starcraft Mass Recall, a remake of the original Starcraft and its subsequent expansions in the Starcraft 2 level editor. And this is the second and last part of the mission Norad 2, where we rescue General Duke and the survivors of Norad 2 from the incoming Zerg. And I also hope this will be the last mission I'll have to cut into multiple pieces. It ruins the narrative of the mission and it's very complicated to name it and make a thumbnail for it. But I think I know how to handle this problem in the future. I'll split the next mission into 3 segments. The first one will focus on mission briefing, cinematics, and base building. Afterwards, I'll show you the army list and the map of the area and explain what my plan is. And finally, we will see how that plan falls flat on its face in practice. But first, let's take a look at the army list in question, shall we? As you can see, the Terrans have more options when it comes to units, but the Zerg can counter them with their defensive structures and more versatile units. This would be a problem if the only entrance to their base was this choke point. I would lose a lot of manpower while taking this area. But, by capturing and securing the expansion, I have 2 ways to get to the Norad. Both of them start by a simultaneous attack on the first Zerg hatchery. After that, depending on how many forces you have left, you either dig in and resupply, or move on and destroy the remaining hatcheries. Actually, you can ignore the second hatchery and just go for the objective. But let's be honest, the Zerg will just continue attacking us until we get rid of them. In any case, once we get rid of them, we'll secure the area around the Norad, and that's the end of the mission. So without further ado, let's move on and finish the mission. Oh god, no! No! Don't you dare crash on me! Oh, it's fixed. Well, this was embarrassing. Let's just check the enemy and see what happens. The Zerg have a small army ready to go, but I'm not worried. My expansion forces are ready and waiting for him, so I'll just continue scanning the area. And I should probably explain what happens to the Goliaths defending the Norad. While I was taking over the expansion, the Three Stooges decided to chase a random Zerg and got themselves killed. And they almost got the SCVs killed as well, but I managed to pull them back and save them. And apparently they have a cousin who shares their death wish. Build some turrets. That should keep you occupied. While he's busy with that, I'll check out the attack's progress. The medics are as stupid as ever. They charge in without weapons and get killed before they can heal anyone. Luckily, Raynor and the dropships are out of combat. But I just realized I didn't put him in a control group, so I'll just mend this horrible mistake right away. And for now, let's concentrate on the fight. I'll set up a couple of rally points in the area and focus on my second tactic. Namely, going for the enemy hatcheries. If they cannot produce troops, we should win this easily. And from the current look of things, I think we have enough forces to destroy every hatchery in the area. So we will continue pushing forward and build an expansion once the creep subsides. And I just realized I didn't mention this in the plan of attack segment. Sorry. I was neglectful, I needed to mention this. But then again, anybody who plays RTS games knows about this rule. Build an expansion close to action. It will save you a lot of time if your troops are built close to the battlefield. And from frustration. And from breaking a monitor. Or a console. Or simply check YouTube for rage quitting. Whichever comes first. I admit that it's sometimes funny on YouTube. But when you see it happen in real life, it's rather stressful and frightening for everyone involved. Trust me on this one. Now then, let's try to think of something more pleasant to talk about. Or at the very least more intelligent. For example, you might be wondering why didn't I use my expansion forces to get rid of the orange base first. There is nothing obstructing me from attacking them, and I already destroyed their forces at the beginning of the video. There is nothing wrong with this logic. But the AI on this map is very aggressive. It will periodically try to retake lost areas, and it will reinforce the bases that are under attack. This wouldn't be too much of a problem if I only had to deal with 2 bases. But in this case, I have to deal with 2 bases and a small army hidden behind them. So if I attack the orange base in the middle first, my forces would get surrounded and destroyed, and the Zerg could easily retake the area we conquered. In order to slow down, or in some cases prevent such occurrence, I send what little troops I have and do as much damage as I can. But in this case, I did a lot of damage and didn't lose too many troops. So I think we can continue pushing on until we secure the area. We managed to secure 2 expansions, but I'm not going to build anything on top of them. The finish line is in sight, and the only thing that stands in our way is a small base. I have enough troops, and the reinforcements are on their way. Nothing can stop me now! Accept my poor bladder control! Let's do this quickly because I have to go! Never mind. Alright, I thought it would be funny. It wasn't. Well, it's kind of funny when you listen to it from... I'm just digging myself deeper, am I? I'm sorry. This was something my grandfather used to say when he was waiting for the bathroom. He would jump in place, say it in a very funny voice, and as a kid I always found it hilarious. I thought it would be funny because I'm suffering from a very bad case of food poisoning and I have to visit the throne room every so often. But after hearing myself, I realized it was a very stupid and disgusting thing to say. So let's move on to something else. The end, for example. It is so close that I can only lose if I suffer a fatal heart attack. Not to worry, it was an EA executive. He just saw how much he'll make for this rescue operation. Fortunately, he had a defibrillator on hand. Let me just check the instructions first and we can save 999 for activation. Well, I did what I could. Now the only thing that's left for me to do is submit my new resume to EA. Wait a minute. Looks like the nearly departed executive was a key member and now the company's falling apart. And their assets are on sale. Move in, man! Get as many of their assets as you can! And with that childish fantasy over, I think we can skip to the ending cutscene. I'm just going to be petty and destroy the remaining Zerg. And that's going to be pretty boring to watch.
You're about the last folks I expected to show up. What's your angle here, Minsk?
Our angle? I'll give you an angle, you slimy Confederate.
Jim, enough. I'll handle this. The Confederacy has fallen apart, Duke. Its colonies are in open revolt. The Zerg are rampaging unchecked. What would have happened here today if we hadn't shown up?
Your point?
I'm giving you a choice. You can return to the Confederacy and lose, or you can join us and help save our entire race from being overrun by the Zerg. I don't think it's a difficult decision.
Join forces with you? I'm a general, for God's sake.
A general without an army. I'm offering you a position in my cabinet, not just some backwater post. Don't test my patience, Edmund.
All right, Minsk. You got a deal.
You've made the right choice, General Duke.
I can't believe you're really gonna trust this snake.
Don't worry, Jim. He's our snake now.
I love this cutscene. It did a great job at showing us how charismatic and manipulative Minsk is. And it also serves as a good hint for how corrupt he will become. But I don't want to spoil the story just yet. If you're interested in playing this, please check the description for the mod's download link. I will include the download link in the future videos as well. As I already said at the beginning of the video, I will split my future Let's Plays into segments so I don't have to split the missions into multiple episodes. I think this will make my Let's Plays more enjoyable, but I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Until then, my name has been Bedomy, thank you very much for watching, and good night.